Hi, this is Keiko from Book and Shoe Space for Shoe Talks Quarantine Edition. Today we're inviting Maya from Meeker Made. She's working out of Northern California. I just follow her on Instagram and I asked her if she would be interested in talking with me, and she accepted. So thank goodness. She's on right now, so I will call her in and we'll hear all about her work. Let's see, it says waiting. This technology is fantastic. It's super simple, but yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, how are you? Okay, hold
Good.
on.
How are
Let's
you?
lift it up. Good. Thanks for being online with me.
Oh, thank you
Ooh,
so
I
much for
see all
having
these
me. It's an honor.
tools. I see all these tools behind you. Yeah, tell us, how are you doing during this pandemic? Are
Good.
you still
Yeah.
making in the shop?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been good for me. I
Yeah.
actually moved my shop kind of right at the beginning of our quarantine here in California, so that was
Mm-hmm.
it was good timing, really. But I was in a little tiny space, and I'm in a slightly bigger space now, which is nice because I can fit more of my things in one spot because I had them all
Yeah.
over my house before, so it's a little
Yeah.
more consolidated now.
Is it near your house? Is it like
Nope.
close by so you can like
Yeah,
go there easily?
I had been living about four doors from where I am now, and my partner lives here, so I kind of shifted over here and give me a room that he had all his surfboards in, and so now I can use it to work out of, which is very nice
Nice.
of him.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you start boot making, leatherworking, and how long have you been doing it for? Yeah. Let's go back
I
in
think
time.
I've been, yeah, I think I've been doing boots since maybe 2012 or so. I had been working for many years at a sculpture studio that did kind of like exhibit fabrication. And so that was kind of a full service studio that
Mm-hmm.
had, wood and metal and whatever. We
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of like concrete cast, industrial casting and stuff.
Wow.
A lot of
Did
their
you do all
textile stuff.
that? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Everyone kind of did a little of everything, but I definitely did most of their textile stuff. So there was a period where we were doing a lot of kind of weird sculptural upholstery. And when I was doing that a lot, I thought, oh, I wonder if this is what shoemaking's like. And so I kind of got the notion in my head. And then after thinking about it for a while, I thought, God, I really want to learn how to do that. So I went to Texas and learned from, I think, a third generation bootmaker named Carl Chappell, who's in kind of north central Texas.
Uh-huh.
And I stayed
I've
with
heard of
him
him.
for just a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he's a very funny character. I really liked him,
Cool,
but he was
cool.
great to learn from. So I did that. Just it was a quick 2 week thing, but it's so much information, if you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I came home and kind of molded over, and then kind of chipped away at it on my own for I don't know, a year or so. And then I thought, oh, I should go like learn other styles. So I went later to South Dakota and learned from a guy named Mark Schumacher there how to do more lace up kind of work boot style stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I've taken a few classes here and there. I went up to Bonnie and Will's in Ashland and did a hiking
Yeah.
workshop with them.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
Oh, hiking boots. Mm-hmm.
like kind of learning the gamut. There's so much
Yeah.
to focus in on, but I feel like before I do that, I kind of want to spread out and kind of play with all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But like the whole common theme was boots.
Yeah, I mean, I've made some shoes, but I tend to either wear sandals or boots. I'm kind of like in one or the other, not really in between. So that's just what I like
Yeah.
to wear. So
Right,
I
right, right.
do that mostly.
Yeah. Do you do it full time now?
I don't. I do leather work full time. I kind of work. I have two or three kind of regular jobs that I do for other companies that are kind of mostly leather and sewing related. So I do that for work plus some freelance stuff on the side. So there's
Uh-huh.
a bag company near here that's mostly just me and the owner of the company, um,
Uh-huh.
A Royal, and she designs really lovely bags, and I help her kind of do the
Uh-huh.
bag making and do a lot of
Uh-huh.
the production here in my studio, and she does all
Nice.
the custom orders at her studio. And
Mm-hmm.
then before COVID, I was going down to San Francisco, like maybe a week, a month to help
Oh,
there that does made to order clogs called Briar Studio. And
yeah, yes, I love their work.
yeah, she makes beautiful stuff. And it's a really
Yeah,
great group of women that are, it's just a great group of people. So that's really
yeah,
fun. So I did some kind of development work with them, and I go help them with production on occasion. But since COVID, I just haven't really wanted to be in the city, to be honest. So hopefully,
right, right.
summer's down, I'll get to go back over there.
Yeah.
And
How
kind
far?
of fancy stuff in between.
Right, right, right. How far away from San Francisco are you?
I'm about an hour and a half north. I'm
Oh,
in like a very tiny town, kind of coastal, um, about an hour and a half north of the city.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you were saying like your partner surfs. Do you also surf?
I don't know. He took me out in the water once, and I mostly just wanted to chase seals around. That was kind of more.
It's more interesting to watch. Sorry, sorry. I lost you for a second.
I
Yeah, you're
got
good?
an emergency
You're good?
alert, which seems like it happens constantly these days.
Okay, got it, got it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so yeah, you just recently moved, so do you think you can show us a little bit of your workshop?
Yeah,
A
sure.
little
Yeah,
tour?
actually, having this lined up was really good motivation um, to clean up some of the boxes that were remaining. So that's the
Cool.
main. That's kind of where
Nice,
I
nice
do most of
wall.
my
Yeah.
little work space.
What's your
And
favorite tool out of your hand
oh
tools
man,
or
I
machines?
really like this knife, which, oh boy, this one. These are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these. These are most of the knives I use. This one I think I got from Lisa Sorrell when I was in a
Uh-huh.
class of hers a few years ago. But the rest of those
Uh-huh.
were I found at the flea market. I don't know who made them, but they're really hard steel that just keeps an edge forever. So I really like that one in particular. And I found these
Nice.
weird little grips at a fishing store. I think you're supposed to put them on a fishing pole, but it works on
Okay.
there
But the
too.
size was perfect, so that's
Yeah,
great.
it
Is it
makes
made
it a
out of
little
leather?
less.
Is
No,
it
it's some
leather?
kind of
No.
rubbery stuff. It's kind of like
Oh.
squishy, like a pencil grip kind of material.
Oh, okay.
So I like
Interesting.
that one. And I really like this big hammer, which I don't use very often, but it's
Uh-huh.
really heavy. So if I'm
Uh-huh.
putting soles on or something, I
Mm,
don't have to swing that hard. It just kind of
right.
falls and smashes
Yeah, yeah.
things. So that's a
Did
nice
you
tool.
did you collect, did you have a period of time when you were like just hunting for tools?
I'm kind of always hunting. I just love tools. That's part of what
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
about
don't we all?
boot and shoemaking so much is there's so many
Yeah,
specialized
right.
pieces that you don't
Yeah.
necessarily need, but it makes it
Yeah.
more
It's like
efficient or
a
fun or
candy
whatever.
store. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I see the lasting pliers. You have a few lasting pliers.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a few different styles. I don't use this style as much, but mostly I just
Mm.
use these little ones
Okay.
for almost everything. I recently got a wider pair, but I
Mm.
mostly just use those. Um,
Cool.
yeah. And then this is the machine I do most of my bag work on. That's kind
Mm-hmm.
of a workhorse. And then, well, I'll move slower. And then this is I believe.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
and that's probably my favorite one because it has so much personality.
Yeah.
That one's
Yeah.
boot tops or assembling kind of
Mm.
more flat boot
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then those are some patterns for insoles and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I have
Oh, it's so organized.
for
So
now,
clean.
it's pretty fresh. I'm kind of in between projects now too,
Yeah.
so it's not all messy. So that is a
Ooh.
post machine that I got when I was in South Dakota. I
It's
drove
a
maybe like
beautiful
3 hours in the
color.
wrong direction. I know it was that color when I found it, and I thought, oh, maybe.
Wow. That's so
It's a
cute.
very fickle machine. It sometimes
Really?
works better than others, but yeah,
Huh.
it has to be in the
What
right
is it, a
mood.
Singer? No.
It is a
What is
Singer,
it?
yeah. I don't remember
Uh-huh.
the model number, 5128, it looks like.
Cool.
But
And you
yeah,
still
it
have the
stitches
leather
beautifully.
belt? Yeah, you still have the leather belt.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so
yeah.
fascinating. Is it
I
a
know
double roller foot?
they all have a lot
Like
of
it's
character.
so cute. Yeah, yeah.
And then this
Great.
one is a very weird
Wow.
machine because
Mm-hmm.
it's completely left-handed. So it
Yeah,
not only is the wheel on the left, but it spins the opposite direction and the knee lifter's on the wrong side. So it took
you're
a
right.
lot to get used to that.
Right, right,
It's definitely a change from a normal sewing machine.
right. It's really cool. I feel
And
like
then I have,
I've heard some Japanese people say that they usually use the left. I don't know. I maybe it's a
yeah,
different
I've
learning thing,
seen,
but I've seen a lot of left mach fingers
yeah,
on.
it has
Yeah.
an extra pulley down here. So I almost feel like it might have been in a factory at one point. And
Oh,
maybe that
okay.
shaft was hooked up to another machine, so maybe it could
Yeah,
run
like it's
two.
all
I'm not really
connected.
sure.
Right, right.
Maybe I don't. That's the only
Interesting.
thing I
Yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
imagine that would
Yeah, there's a
make that.
history to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah. It has
beautiful.
somebody's name carved in it, Rufus. So yeah,
Oh,
name
interesting.
is
So,
Rufus.
and you use this mostly for
I,
bags
I
or
use that one more for uppers. I kind of switched
uppers?
between the post and this one, and I haven't quite decided which one I like better for that, but
It's
whichever one's
beautiful.
working better at the moment.
They're
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
I know. I like the
Wow.
ones that have character. I can see the value of having new machines because they
Right.
just work all the time, but there's something
Right.
about the character of the older ones that I find really charming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
They're
I
be
have a big cutting
mhm.
table here, which is good for production
Yeah.
work. And
Yeah.
then a
Yeah.
little finisher.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can back up so you can see more.
Yeah.
So that's a little
Yeah.
finisher.
Yeah.
And then I have storage over here for
Yeah. Leather
glass at the top,
materials,
and
glass.
then
Yeah.
just kind of miscellaneous
Yeah.
um,
5-in-1s.
stuff. I have this very cool machine that I've rarely seen that squishes
Yeah.
things, and
Hmm.
it's good for putting for insoles and soles before you put them on because you want the fibers really dense. And I have that splitter over there, but I tend
Yeah.
to just kind of smush it into submission to the thickness I want with that one because then you kind of get
Interesting.
a
Yeah.
double benefit from having it the
Mm.
right thickness and having it real dense, which
Mm.
turns out
Mm.
to work pretty well in my experience.
That's
I don't know if
great.
that's even what it's for, but that's what
Yeah,
I've
that's
used it for.
great. That's great. Yeah.
And
Was it
then,
something that like any of your teachers or mentors had those machines, or was
I
it
don't,
you
I can't
just
think of
found
ever
it?
having seen one before necessarily.
Mm.
I feel like
Mm.
I've seen flat ones that didn't
Yeah.
have, such a curve in here. And I don't
Right.
actually really know why that's in there, except that, the ball of the foot is kind of cupped. So maybe it helps with
Right.
that. I don't
Huh.
actually even know,
Yeah.
but
I don't
I
know.
saw it when I was
I'm
kind
curious.
of
Yeah.
buying a group of machines. And so I
Yeah.
thought, all right, I'll
Why
have it, I
not take
guess.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
So,
Very cool.
yeah.
Which one of your
There's
equipments or
just kind of
machines are your favorite?
miscellaneous.
Oh, you have more. Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
I think this little one over here, oops, that one, it just
Yeah.
has a lot of personality and it just stitches really nice all the time. It never messes up. It's super simple to fix. It's just a good
D
little machine.
That's great. Do you name your machines? I don't, do you
I
have like
don't
names?
really. I think
No.
that one, has the name Rufus on it, so I guess that's its name, but the rest of them I don't really name.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's so cool. What are you working on right now?
Oh, I'm kind of in between projects. I
Mm-hmm.
just finished a pair of kind of little Western boot style kind of Western boots. And now, I don't know, I think I actually want to play with a pair of lasts I got from you, so I have not quite decided what I want to put on them yet, but I think that's next, and maybe a pair for my partner who I mostly made boots and shoes for myself, so I have a huge collection and I have more shoes than I need at this point. So I think, okay, maybe I'll branch out
Move
and
on. Yeah.
make things for others.
Yeah, why not? That's so cool. Where do you get your inspiration from?
I think process, really. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I just kind of try and soak up as many different techniques and stuff as I can. And Usually I don't necessarily think of what I want a finished thing to look like. I think of like what I want to, like what method I want to use to make it. And then
Mm-hmm.
the style is not secondary, but kind of, I think some people really visualize the end goal and get there. And I
Right.
kind of like think about how I want to do it and then see what it
Okay.
turns into. Um,
Cool, cool.
but I think I'm very like inspired by kind of traditional techniques. And so I think a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the time, without even meaning to, stuff kind of turns out sort of with kind of classical elements, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a fancy shoe person. So I'll usually put
Right.
big chunky sole on it or
Outsoles.
something to kind of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
modernize it.
Yeah. 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 What's the favorite part of the process of the shoemaking or boot making?
I really like doing the channeling on the insoles. That part I
Oh,
find really
okay.
kind of sculptural. And it's all hidden at the end, but it's kind of the foundation, and the
Yeah.
more tidy, um, it's the tighter you do it there, the better it turns out later. And just learn
Yeah.
spacing over each pair,
Yeah.
you kind of
Yeah.
like get a better handle on where that sits and how deep to do it and all that. So I really like that part, but I think how many different
Yeah. Do you,
skills are involved. It's really the collection.
right, right. And do you always mostly do hand welted or do you also do cement construction?
I pretty much do hand welted. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I that's just the first way I learned, so I trust it the most, and
Mm-hmm.
I like that part of it, so I don't see a reason to skip it. And
Yeah.
I've made a couple shoes that I just glued together, and I just didn't trust that they would hold up as well. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
It
most
probably
shoes
won't
were
trust.
made
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
It
I
won't
like the
last as long as it won't last as long as when you hand sew it, right?
maybe I
Absolutely.
don't know. Maybe I just don't know how to do it right.
Yeah, no, that's cool though. Do you have like a signature? I know you're exploring and also you have other bags and other leather goods that you're making, but do you have like a favorite style that you like to make out of your shoes that you've made
Of
already so
shoes.
far? Yeah,
Uh, I mean, I kind of equally feel drawn to kind of work boots and Western boots.
work boots.
I I don't make Western boots as often, but I've worked with people where I've done kind of top stitching for them
Hmm.
quite a bit, and so I really like doing the top work. But I haven't actually assembled like done a whole Western boot from start to finish as much as I've made other kinds.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
like where apprenticeship I feel like official for that, just getting doing it over and getting the muscle memory. So I haven't done that as much, but I do like the top work. And then I think what just work boots is what I wear a lot. So I like that
Yeah.
kind of
Do you think,
trying to integrate other elements that aren't typically work boot elements into that.
right? Do you think you'll make your partner a work boot
I
style?
think so. He has more Red Wing boots than anyone I've ever met. So I think he wants a pair that's kind of that family.
Then,
So
so
he likes those kinds. So I'd
yeah,
rather make him something he'll wear,
yeah,
something that he won't.
yeah. Do you wear your shoes all the time? Like
Yeah, for
can you
the
hear me?
most
Sorry.
part.
Yeah.
I kind of cycle through and pick a favorite and wear it for a few months. But now it's so hot out here that I just wear sandals most of the time. But
All right.
most of the time I
Right, right.
do. Yeah,
Yeah. I saw
gotta
some espadrilles that you
put
made
them to
too. So I
use.
was wondering, yes. Are you wearing something that you made to like today? Are you wearing like shoes that you made today?
No, today I'm not. I'm actually wearing sandals that Crocs made, but it's just too hot to wear anything.
Too hot. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we're having a weird
Yeah.
heat
And
wave here,
how about
but
like so the way you make shoes, right? Sorry, I have like really bad
I,
connection. Sorry. I think I lost you for a second.
I can hear
Hold on. Sorry, did I lose you for a second? Are you back?
I can hear you. Your picture
Okay.
froze, but it's sort of coming.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Hold on a second. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can make it faster by connecting, but I don't have the cable. Um, like with the way that you make your shoes with hand welting, how long does it take to make a pair?
I don't actually even know because I kind of spread it out. You know, if I were to count the hours, maybe 30, 40. I really don't know. I usually kind of do it piecemeal, you know, maybe I'll spend a whole day
Yeah.
working on it here or there and then a couple hours here and there. So I mean, I rarely start a pair and finish it within less than a month, say, you know, just because I get busy doing work or doing
Right.
other stuff.
Right.
But I could do it faster if I was only doing that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's hard now. It just depends how involved it is, and you know, some of them
Yeah.
I've kind of made a boot in a similar way that I did before, and that goes a lot faster. But most of the time, I just pattern it from scratch and have to kind of think through
Mm.
how I'm going to put it together different each
Right.
time. So that kind of adds up to too.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't line up like two, three pairs at a time and work it kind of efficiently. It's more like you work on one pair at a time.
Yeah, I
Did
mean,
you hear me?
I'm kind of like
Yeah.
getting in that direction. I'd like to kind of condense it like that. Usually I'll have kind of a simpler project there, you know, a pair of mules or something a little less intense, for if I just have a mental block and don't feel like doing real like thought work that day. So usually I'll have a couple smaller
Going
projects
on.
too, but usually just one.
Yeah.
I would love to kind of gear more towards, I don't know about full production, but um, I think I'm kind of working on developing a last that I can have a run made so that I can kind of
Nice.
do, you know, at least make them for
Like a
other people
sides
and
run.
are
Yeah.
familiar with the last instead of
Uh-huh.
reinventing everything every
Right.
time.
Right.
So
So
that's,
almost
and
like a ready to wear, like something like a collection of
yeah,
yours. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think I'd still like to do sort of custom, so
Hmm.
customizable. So it would be, you know,
Yeah.
made to order, but, um, you know, like I said, I haven't really honed in on the construction method I love the most. I like take
Yeah.
elements and learn what I like and what I don't like every time I make a
Yeah.
pair. But
Right.
you know, I've realized this is kind of a lifelong learning process.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't feel rushed to kind of solidify
Yeah.
right now. I
Yeah.
think for me, the business part is not the fun part. The making part is. So if I can just work on that
Yeah.
eventually, if I
Yeah.
feel like it's sustainable or marketable or whatever, then maybe. But it's not the
Yeah.
end goal, I don't think. I like working with
Right.
other
You're
people a lot
enjoying it.
too.
Yeah. And you're really
Yeah,
enjoying having that freedom too. You're not tied down
definitely.
to like
Yeah.
making the
And I
sales or
feel really
stuff.
lucky that the work I've been able to find work that uses all these skills,
Yeah.
which is super. I mean, that's easily could have not happened. You know, they're very specific skills.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I'm really happy to collaborate with other people in my work, and I feel lucky to do that. So that's fulfilling also.
Oh, really cool. Really cool. Do you have your work of like a little bit that you can show on camera, or is it, should we just kind
Yeah.
of look on your Instagram?
No, I have. I mean, a lot of these
Yeah,
are
mhm.
on Instagram, but
Right. Yeah. Which one's
like,
your favorite, you feel like?
oh
Or some
man, I think
hard.
this
Like
pair I
it's like
wear the
picking a
most.
child. Like,
That pair is kind of a Red Wing. I call it a Red Wing knockoff, but maybe I should homage to Red Wing.
yeah, yeah.
It's not quite. And then those are some
Yeah, yeah.
sneakers. And
Uh-huh.
this pair I really like too, which is kind of a Western style, but more of a
Work
I don't know,
boot
I guess
kind
a
of.
packer, you call it.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
Oh, those
this
red, is
pair
that
I
red
got
boots?
halfway through and then
Hmm.
realized, oh yeah, this was the first pair I ever made with
Oh,
Carl.
okay. Cool.
This pair I realized after I put them together that I did not do the geometry right. So I think I'm either going to start those over or take the bottoms off and rework the bottoms because the angles were all wrong. But I like the boots a lot, so we'll see. That might be a thing to go back to. Those ones I made for my mother. And
The Wi-Fi is really so bad. Sorry about that.
oh no, I
Yeah.
see you, but you're kind of
Yeah,
blurry,
okay.
but I see you
Yeah,
fine.
good. How about the thistle one? Is that do you have a story behind it?
Um, Not really. Those were kind of an early pair. Might have been like the second or third pair I made, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why this all spoke to me, but I wanted to put the roots on because I feel like
It's
you
cool.
always see floral stuff, but I thought it would be nice to make it kind of a more botanical,
Yeah,
illustration rather than just the floral part.
right.
But I thought that particular plant lent itself to kind of a classic cowboy boot shape, all those
Yeah,
little points on the leaves and
yeah,
stuff. So I
yeah.
thought it would be a good
Really
flower to
cool.
use.
Yeah, and the top of the boot is a little different.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but I think it just looked like it should be that shape because the
Mm-hmm.
thistle was there and it kind of mirrored the thistle.
Uh-huh.
So I don't remember if I'd seen that before or if I just decided I think it just kind of went with the pattern. So I
Yeah,
did it and didn't think any more about it, but
yeah.
it
No, it's
worked
really
out. I like
cool. Yeah, yeah. And the roots are super cool. How it's kind of fans out, like sort of in the shape at the vamp area too. Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very cool. Do you have like a motto you live by?
Auto. Um, I guess make what you need. I really like just, making tools, making clothes, making shoes, making whatever odds and ends, furniture, stuff that I use. I really like functional objects, and I think I
Yeah.
kind of came from an art background, but
Mm,
discovered that I really was more fulfilled if it was a useful thing than a
yeah.
thing to look at. So I can appreciate that too, but I really like things that I can use in daily
Yeah.
life and they can like kind of fulfill their destiny. So
That's cool. Do you keep on making other things too? Like if I feel like yeah, you are multi-talented. Like you do bags, you do other things, furniture,
I
like
make stuff in a lot of different disciplines, I guess, kind
yeah,
of what
yeah,
I need. And then, oh, how can I make that? Or what do I make that out of? Or how can I
yeah,
adapt that this
yeah,
material I'm using right
yeah,
now? Or
yeah.
so.
Wow. That's amazing that you have so many different skills and you're like shoemaking is one of them, you know?
I guess probably the most involved, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel like
It
you're
kind of
hooked?
includes
You're like,
everything.
right, includes different skills and puts it into one.
Hmm.
Right. Do you feel like you're just hooked to
Oh yeah.
shoemaking?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I think from the beginning, I just thought, oh, this is like all the detail work I like to do and all the kind of sculptural stuff
right.
and construction. It's kind of, it's got the very fine motor skills and then it's got the kind of like geometry and kind of constructive work too. So I think
Yeah,
for me, it's kind of everything in a really good way.
yeah.
And I
That
remember
makes
the time was with Carl making boots, and the first time we sanded leather on the big finisher, that smell of like burning leather, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this. That's intense. Now I just love that smell.
yeah.
It like makes me feel productive and like I'm doing something.
That's funny.
So
Yeah. That's so great. Um, what was I gonna ask? If you had all the resources and the time in the world, what kind of shoes or boots would you make? And for who?
I mean, I think, like I said, I'd love to kind of develop something that's a little more marketable, for lack of a better word. I don't
Mm,
know, kind of,
mm,
work on something that I could customize, but make for other people. And I
mm.
think it's possible. It's just, it's a big time and energy investment to develop the last. And I mean, I think over the last few years, I've been learning a lot more about what makes a good last and what fits the most people and all that. And I think there's still a lot more to learn about that. You just have to kind of dive in and see. I do have a few runs of lasts, and I've made things on them and realized, oh yeah, this won't work for that reason or this reason. And they're good for certain things,
styles,
but I don't for every, for like a line of shoes or whatever. I don't know if I would go with any of the ones I have. So I think honing that would be great.
Cool. So you're kind of like at a path where you're like, okay, I experimented a lot, the styles you like, and then now you're like ready to, I guess, commercialize it in a way. But like,
maybe, I mean, I would still love to keep it really small because I don't want to make a massive business at all.
No, right.
But if somebody said, hey, I have one of those, to be able to say like, yes, I have a last in your size, I can do that.
Yeah. Would you take on any apprentices or interns?
Oh man, I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm still learning so much. I don't know if I'm really like a qualified person to teach, although I'm happy to like share what I do know with people who are interested. Clearly, I mean, I've been so lucky, and people I've met are so generous. I mean, it really is a great community I've found of people that are willing to answer any question. Right. So I'm happy to pay that forward, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of people who are qualified to teach from the ground up than I am, but one day in many years,
day. Yeah, there's somebody asking, Michelle, I think, MBQ Handmade. She asks, where do you source your materials, last, etc.?
All over. I mean, leather, there's Napa Hide House, which is maybe an hour from me, so that is a good source. I think they service the whole country. So that's a pretty good source. I try to not order leather online if I can, because the few times I've tried it, I just don't, it's hard to know what you're going to get unless you get a sample beforehand. So I try not to do that and just go, I'm not a big enough production thing that I need tons of it. So it's fine for me to just go find the one thing I need. And there's a few other leather buyers around that I go to. And then for findings and stuff, there's a really good finder in San Francisco that is a great resource. And
cool.
It's a little, again, to order online because even they don't even know how to explain what they have. So you almost just have to go wander up and down the aisles and like, I needed this.
Right. So wait, do you drive there usually?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down in the Bay Area fairly often. So if I'm there and I need something, that's where I'll go for sure. Because, a lot of it's hard to find. I don't know.
Yeah, findings is, it is really hard to find.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has anything to do with the name, but
What's that? The name of it?
The name, like, when you say, the findings, I just call it hardware, but like findings, it's just hard to find. And I've like, maybe that's why it's called findings. I don't know.
Definitely. Yeah, that one is called Obalter and Sons, the one in San Francisco.
Thank you for sharing. You don't have to,
I'm happy to. I would love for them to stay in business for as long as possible.
Right.
I think they supply a lot of shoe repair places.
Okay.
So they have soles, they have glues, they have.
Cool.
I mean, stuff existed. It's like you go in there and it's like a candy store. It's really fun.
Yeah. Wow. So it's not just hardware. It's really like you can see and find like shoe repair supply shop.
Yeah, they have tools. They have zippers. They have glue and sheets of raw material. You can get sole leather, or you can get or you can get rubber.
Yeah. It's like equivalent to probably like Kaufman's in New York.
Sure. Yeah. I think there's not that many of them in the country left. I don't know. Called Sederma. That's pretty good too.
Sederma. Yeah. In LA. Anything a little differently after the pandemic settles, or you feel like a lot of things would be the same and you're just growing?
Sorry, you cut out for a second. What was that?
Sorry. Sorry. Do you think you might
Yeah.
do something differently in after the pandemic? Or do you feel like you'll do something like similar to what you do? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to go back down and work with Briar more again. That I miss doing for sure. But no, really, I mean, there was definitely like a couple months where everything just ground to a halt, kind of, and that wasn't the worst thing for me because I just spent it organizing myself and kind of reframing everything. Um, but no, after, I mean, I just kind of want to keep doing what I'm doing. It's working pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
That's,
that's so great.
yeah.
Yeah. Where do you want to be in like 3, 5, 10 years?
I mean, like I said, hopefully just keeping on doing what I'm doing. I I'm pretty happy with the work balance I have. I work for
Yeah.
different people and different kinds of work that I'm
Yeah.
pretty much always kind of engaged and feeling um, like it's not really work. It's just kind of, oh, I get to do this project now. Oh, I get to do that project now. So that's really a
Yeah.
blessing. And
Yeah.
hopefully just keep having time to with shoes and slowly develop that. Like I said, I'm not in a super mad dash rush to figure out how to make that monetarily viable. It's a fun
Yeah.
thing to do. And
Yeah.
I mean, I did grow up in the Bay Area and I kind of moved to a rural place so I'd have more time to focus on work. And I really like having that. I mean, there's a lot less
Yeah.
people, but I spend a
Right.
lot of time in my shop and
Yeah.
that's what makes me happy for sure.
Yes. Oh, that's so great. That's so great. Do you feel like if you were to go and learn from somebody, do you have like a list of people that you want to learn from? Or what kind of process would you like to learn next if you
Oh
were to
man.
learn something?
Um, I mean, I just did earlier this year a big kind of road trip around the Western states and met a bunch of bootmakers that I met and some of whom I'd only heard of. And that was really great because I got to just meet all different people and see different ways that they worked. And um, so, yeah, I mean, there were a bunch. I mean, I visited Lee Miller and his crew, and that was super inspiring
Yeah.
because they're just really
Yeah.
knowledgeable and are really, into that collaborative learning, which I thought was great. So, and
Yeah.
I mean, since then, I reached out to him with questions and he's been so generous. So I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I've found that with a lot of makers, I think like Wes Sugar, I posed a question to him at one point in response to some picture he posted. And he said, oh, like, call me up and I'll explain it. And, it's really,
Yeah.
people are really, so I feel
Yeah.
very lucky having kind of
A
connection
community.
through the
Yeah.
internet for
Yeah.
stuff that people are really accessible, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
can't go study with somebody, which I would love to do, I think the community is strong. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Oh, Wes says, "Hey, that's me." Yes,
Yeah,
that's
that's you.
you.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
it.
great.
I
Yeah,
have,
from across the country too, East Coast,
yeah,
West Coast. It's amazing.
totally.
Yeah, I would love it. Like I was talking with Jim yesterday. He's a shoe repair, like head of the Shoe Repair Association.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm not saying it right. Shoe Service Institute of America, but like how they do like a yearly annual convention, and I would
Uh-huh.
love it. I would love it if like all the shoemakers and bootmakers and
Totally.
everybody got together. It'd be so
I know
fun.
it's
But
interesting. I think the different disciplines, like I know the bootmakers have a bootmaker roundup and the
yeah,
shoemakers have kind of contests, and there really, I don't think, is anything that brings all the footwear people together. So that would be super cool. I don't know. Everyone kind of, it's amazing how different the different branches are, kind of. It
yeah, yeah. And I
surprises
think
some more overlap.
right, but I think what's cool what you do is like you kind of did a lot of different things as well. So I think you were kind of marrying some styles too. So I think that's interesting. You're not like you love the Western boots and then you also love I think that's kind of interesting. I mean, there's a lot of bespoke shoemakers who did do that, but
Mm.
then chose the specific style. But
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of marry it, so I think it's cool.
Well, there's so
And
many
it's
specific
different.
techniques that apply to each of
Yeah.
them. You know, I mean,
Right.
ideally you would totally hone one, but at the same time, I think they really offer a lot of, you know,
Different. Yeah.
knowledge and more skills from each one. So I think it's cool to branch out, although probably good to hone in at some point.
Right, right. But I guess right now it's nice. I think it's like, I don't know, you feel free too. I don't
Totally.
know. So that you're not, you know, pigeonholed into one area. Um, yeah, what's your next project, you think? Like not just shoes. Do you have something in mind now that you're kind of settled, organized?
I don't know. Like I said, I'm kind of in between things, so I just
Mm,
why everything's so clean in here because I just
yeah.
put everything away so I could start over. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and work on 2 pairs at a time.
Hmm.
You know, just to see if that is doable.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it just an exercise in kind of
yeah.
keeping things lined up? And I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
Still the
cool.
inspiration, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. We'll just follow up on Instagram. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And keep on watching what you do. Yeah. And for your partner, I'd love to see what boots you'll make.
I'm
You
sure
have,
I am eventually. I have to figure out
yeah.
what he wants.
I'm like, what color is it gonna be? Like, I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little more traditional than me in terms of colors. I mean, a lot of the ones that I showed you up there are pretty normal colors, but I wear a lot of bright colors too. So
Yeah.
I'm always torn between things that are classic and things that are kind of wacky. So
Right. Right. Well, you can never have enough shoes,
no, that
right?
is true. That
That,
is true.
yeah, or bags, you know. So, yeah, keep on making, and I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you.
That, yeah, no, thank you for being with me today. I'm just gonna just check some lists of whatever questions because I'm taking notes and I'm looking at notes, but I don't remember if I asked everything. Do you have anything you want to like share with us? It's like you're like, I'll put it out there in the world to manifest anything, kind of.
Um, I don't know. I have a machine that I don't necessarily need, but I don't know where to send it. If it's an Adler patch machine, it's a really big one that's treadle powered. So
Patcher.
I don't know if any
Wow.
one of those, but if you've been
Adler Patcher.
looking,
Yeah.
you
Wow.
move a really heavy machine, it's available.
Yeah.
I don't know for it in
From the
here,
Bay
so
Area. Bay Area.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Let's put it out
yeah,
there too. And
yeah.
whatever we just can follow your work on Instagram. Yeah. Is that like the best way to follow you?
I think so. Yeah, I've been meaning to put a website together for probably 10 years and it's still not happened. So I think for now,
Okay.
low
It's
tech,
okay.
way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Oh, and what was the name? How did you get the name Meeker Made?
Well, I live in a really funny little neighborhood called Camp Meeker, and it was an old
Oh.
logging camp. So it's all these tiny little roads kind of weaving in and out of the forest. And I
Oh.
founded it was named Meeker, something Meeker.
Name.
So it's just where
That's
I
cool.
am.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
cool.
that's picked. It's
It's
not exactly like a business name. It's just kind of
no,
what
it's beautiful. I mean, I'm sure it's so beautiful too.
it
You have a lot.
is. Little zone. It's a funny area.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. Cool. Thank you
Great. Well, thank you so
so
much, Kate.
much. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
I'll
an
keep on
honor.
following you and just watching what you make.
Thank
So thank
you.
you so much for being on with me today and sharing
Oh,
your studio space. It's so organized. It's really inspiring. I'm like, I gotta get on it
well,
too.
all of these talks have been so inspiring. It's so cool to see how many different ways people approach it. That's really exciting.
Right.
Really, thank you for putting it all together because it's a great
Yeah, no, I
work.
enjoy it. So thank you. Thank you for
Thanks so
tuning in
much.
too, everybody. All right. Got it. Bye. See
Bye.
you.